Well, while the president continues to use executive orders to bypass Congress at the federal level, what can states do to fight regulations from being forced on them? Joining me from Virginia is Attorney General and gubernatorial candidate Ken Cuccinelli. He's also author of a new book, The Last Line of Defense. Ken Cuccinelli, welcome. Good to have you back.
Hey, Governor. Good to be with you.
I guess the last line of defense anymore to protect the Constitution may be at the state level.
Well, that's the thesis of our of the book. We're come out on February 12th next month, but we're living with it with the Obama administration, and of course we have another 4 years here to go now. And what we have done successfully in some cases, not in others, to fight back is to take them to court. When the Environmental Protection Agency oversteps its legal boundaries, we sue them. And we recently won a case against the EPA, which I actually now refer to as the Employment Prevention Agency, because they're so good at that.
They are.
They're very good at that. And our co-plaintiff in that case was the Democrat Board of Supervisors of Fairfax County, the biggest county in Virginia, where I grew up. And by winning, we saved the taxpayers of Fairfax County alone about $250 million, and of our State Department of Transportation about another $70 million. It was an enormous, enormous win, and it was an experiment by the EPA where we said, and Fairfax County said, they're breaking the law. And they said, no, this is just another way of doing what we've been doing for 40 years. Well, the court agreed with us, and so one of the great things about winning these federalism cases is when Virginia wins, everybody wins. And so now the other cases like this going on are all in Missouri. So my first phone call was to my colleague, Democrat Attorney General Chris Koster out there, and I said, hey, Happy New Year. He said, well, Happy New Year to you, too. I said, no, really Happy New Year. Let me tell you why. And he was very excited to hear that outcome. I talked to him 2 hours after the order came out. But again, it emphasizes that federalism is a fight for all of us. It's a defense of the Constitution. It's one way that those of us that believe in limited government, especially attorneys general, can actually practice what we preach. And unfortunately, this administration is giving us lots of opportunities to practice.
Do you sometimes feel like that you're having to engage the federal government in a battle just to protect your ability to make decisions for the people of the Commonwealth of Virginia?
Absolutely. That is absolutely a critical element of this. Take the health care case. We filed suit first in Virginia on the health care case. It went through its little more than 2 years of rigmarole. We lost in the sense that the law was left standing, but states got a lot of other options that hadn't existed before because of how the order was written. We actually won some things in that case that now give us choices at the state level that we didn't have before. One big one is, will we go along with their proposed expansion of Medicaid, the welfare program that provides health care to the poor? That's hundreds of millions of dollars question just for Virginia. Forget adding in all the other states. So that has given us some more control back, and we got it by fighting back. You know, your mother always told you fighting's not such a good thing, but there's a time and a place for everything. And the states are the last line of defense in pushing back to make the federal government retain at least some characteristics of a limited government.
Ken, it would appear that there are two good reasons to fight. One is constitutional, because you do want to preserve the power that was originally in the Constitution of the states, according to the 10th Amendment. The other is a matter of financial and fiscal survival for states like Virginia. You mentioned the EPA case. What would that have cost Virginia statewide had EPA prevailed?
You know, this was a case where they were trying to regulate water, the flow of stormwater, rainwater, in the same way they would regulate nitrogen or sludge. And this, ironically enough, was under the Clean Water Act. What we're trying to keep clean is water, and yet they were regulating in the same manner as a pollutant. And because of the financial impact, your point number two, the Democrat Board of Supervisors of Fairfax County joined us because financially they didn't feel like they had a choice. Dollars are a big deal. We'd all rather keep them in our pocket than give them to government. But what we would have had to do to actually achieve what the EPA had in mind is tear down people's houses, tear down their businesses, take them away, plant grass so the water wouldn't flow into the Accotink, and to create retainer pools. So these were going to be people's homes. It was going to be people's businesses. That's what we were going to spend some of that money on, was to kick them out. That's what it looks like in the real world when this kind of federal overreach is actually implemented in your neighborhood, in your backyard.
Ken Cuccinelli, Attorney General of Virginia. Thanks for being here, Ken. Always a pleasure to visit with you. His new book is called The Last Line of Defense.